228, Officer McNamara 228.
Lawsuits.
Good afternoon. On June 4th, 2010, at approximately 7:25 a.m., the school nurse at Fitchburg High School was called to room 329. Upon arrival, the school nurse encountered Mr. Douglas Vaughn Lloyd, 65 years of age, in medical distress, being attended to by other school staff members. Mr. Lloyd was unresponsive, and according to the school nurse, he was blue in the face. He also had no pulse. The school nurse, along with an EMT who works at the school, and Fitchburg Police Officer Leroy Jackson, attempted life-saving measures, which included CPR and automatic electronic defibrillation. 911 was called, and advanced life support personnel from MedStar Ambulance arrived and took care of Mr. Lloyd. He was transported to UMass Leominster Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead by the attending emergency room physicians. Prior to his suffering from this medical distress, Mr. Lloyd participated in the separating of two juvenile students who were engaged in a physical confrontation. Members of the Fitchburg Police Department, the Massachusetts State Police detectives assigned to the Worcester County District Attorney's Office, and the Mass State Police Crime Scene Services are continuing to investigate this matter. The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner has accepted the case for further examination. Are there any questions at this point?
Are there charges for the two juveniles?
Both juveniles have been arrested under the domestic assault and battery statute. They're being arraigned this afternoon in the Fitchburg Juvenile Court.
Do you know what the nature of the altercation was, what precipitated it, and how Mr. Vaughn Lloyd happened to intercede?
The altercation started in type of a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, a dating relationship, if you will. It occurred, I believe, on the third floor of the school. Mr. Lloyd witnessed this. He came to break up the fight. Another teacher came to the aid, a female teacher. She removed the female student from the altercation. Mr. Lloyd removed the male student from the altercation. At that point, the two were separated. Mr. Lloyd then left the altercation, went to another room where he did not feel well. In the other room, he collapsed.
Was there anyone in that room that he went into, or was he alone?
My understanding is that there were other people in the room with Mr. Lloyd when he collapsed.
Would it be...
Really, what are your concerns, and I guess what potential quandary are you in here? Are charges obviously something that's possible but you don't know yet, or what do you have to weigh in this?
There are a lot of things we have to weigh. Whether or not this was a medical incident, what this medical situation was, what was the physical altercation at the scene. One thing I won't do, though, is speculate with regards to any charges until the medical examiner has conducted and completed their examination. At that point, we'd be able to give you a better understanding as to where this may or may not go. But I don't want to speculate on that at this point. It appears that this was a confrontation in the hallway between two students.
Were there any weapons involved?
If I just may. It was a confrontation between two students. Both students had Mr. Lloyd as a teacher at one point. Mr. Lloyd worked for Mount Wachusett Community College. What he did at the school, where he was well-liked and well-respected, was help those who were subpar or below par on the MCAS, the biology part of the MCAS. He helped them raise their scores. He had both of these students at one point in the past. Like I said, he was well-respected, well-liked at the school, and he worked at the school through Mount Wachusett Community College in that regard. With regards to any weapons, no. There were no weapons at the scene.
Would it be fair to say that the health issue was not connected directly to the confrontation, that it may have been incidental?
I can't speculate that. That's something we'll wait for the medical examiner to give us some more information.
Was Mr. Lloyd hit at all by the students before or after the fight, or?
That is part of the investigation. It does not appear, the best information we have at this point, that he was not hit by the student, but there was a physical confrontation. There were people on the ground. They pulled one student off of the other student. He was involved in that. He was involved in restraining the male student.
The fight was on the ground. Did it leave?
It didn't start on the ground. My understanding is it ended up on the ground, where the students were separated. Mr. Lloyd rushed right in and removed the male student from the female student. A female teacher also rushed right in, and she helped separate the two.
How long did Mr. Lloyd work at the school?
I'd have to defer to the superintendent on that. I don't have that answer. But he did work through Mount Wachusett Community College. Like I said, he aided and assisted people, young individuals, young students, helping them raise their MCAS scores.